Okay. Hello, Relearn.
Oh,
Nice of you to join us today. I'd like to introduce to you Saul Espoil and Blair McLaren. Saul is our resident learning space architect and designer, and Blair is our co-founder and operations and finance lead. Hi guys, how are you doing today? All good?
Very well, Brian. Thank you very much.
fantastic.
Nice to see you. You're both in Barcelona at the minute. I'm over here in Ireland. I'm sure there's a bit of a difference between the weather, but we can talk about that maybe another time. I just want to introduce the theme for the conversation today, guys. You know this already, but it's for our audience. It's reimagining learning spaces. It's not just for the privileged. And you guys are going to talk today about that. And I'm just going to kick off straight away with our first question. And the first question is, how can learning communities reimagine their use of space? And Blair, maybe you could take that question up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much for the question, Brian. I think when we talk about reimagining spaces, for us, it forms part of a wider process. No? So it's not just the space drives everything. What we're doing at Learnlife is more than just what the space looks like or how fancy or not. No, this is about part of a vision. You know? So our vision for Learnlife and the vision for learning we have also includes an element of space. And how we use spaces. And so I think the first thing that I would talk about is having a clear vision. What can we get behind as a team? How can we inspire people to think about space as part of that vision? And the reimagining of space is one of the steps on that journey.
Okay, thanks. And Saul, have you anything to add there just about how learning communities can reimagine their use of space?
Yeah, I think that as Blair explained, having a strong vision about how are we going to go to the right approach means also that we create a strong feeling of community. It's quite strong when you include the part of the community, like the teachers and the students, as being involved in part of the process. That make much more sense instead of having like a design, planning from the perspective of an architect. And I think that our journey has been a long journey. And during that journey and big vision, we have changed in the journey because there are a lot of things that we failed and we have to try again. So one of the things I should say is that don't be afraid of fail and be strong in your vision as a starting point.
Super. Thanks.
And I think maybe just following on from what Saul was saying, sorry to interrupt you, Brian, was that testing small. No, so it's about not deciding to have a massive design at the beginning. Some idea of where we're going, absolutely, but not buying 100 chairs until you've tested 2 or 3. Are they comfortable? Who uses those chairs? Who doesn't? So it's a very, very simple ways so that you manage the limited resources you have carefully. And from me and from kind of looking after resources, not just cash, but everything, no time and the like. Testing small, looking at what's happening in the actual space, looking at the real needs, not what people think they need. Because if you ask someone what they need, they might tell you A, but actually until you watch them in practice, you won't realize it's not A, it's actually C. A is part of C, but it's something much broader than that. So also observing the space in action.
Super, thanks, Blair. I think you sort of sorry. I think
sorry to interrupt, Brad. If I just want to add, to Blair's conversation that part of this observation is to realize that we usually have a must have and a wish list of things that are willing to have during this journey, and allowing to understand the needs from the community. It's something that helps a lot because the final user is the student and the teachers that are going to use the space. So I think that's important also. Sorry for the interruption.
No, it's fine. I think I like what you're saying. It sounds to me like starting small and then building is really an important message. And also I guess it's the journey and not the destination that you're trying to reach. I think that's the message that I'm getting from you guys. But I'll move on to the next question, I think, and we'll see if you can enlighten me. Can you give examples of what you guys have done at Learnlife to reimagine and build an innovative learning hub?
I think that one of the backgrounds that we have, the three of us, as part of this journey, I will start with the one that you have, Brian. That it's a project of co-design that we have been working together with the community. So as a starting point is how can we use an unused space to give an extra learning activity or use to that area. And the first thing was working with the learners to look around the community, which is the needs in terms of what are we willing to have. And based on that need, that in this case was a focus, a small tiny room where you can work on, we create a design process, a schedule, and a budgeting. And the final result is the picture that you have on your back. And this is like a small example of how can we work with a small budget in an existing space and working together. So Blair, maybe you can talk about the partnerships.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think just following on from what Saul was saying, it's about repurposing things you already have, and working with people and seeing, using our combined imagination. So this is not the work of one person, but using our combined imagination, thinking about where we want to go, what we can do with what we already have. And I think on the partnership side, yeah, I mean, some resources don't come in from internally, but come from our wider community. Those resources can be cash, it can be time, it can be material. And what we started looking for and started to involve was the whole community. Conversations around, well, where are we going? What kind of things do we need? And everybody then started contributing ideas, getting people involved in the ideas. And those people who believe in our vision will help start to participate as well. And one of those options is around partnership, around getting organizations, companies, people who want to partner with what we're doing. And one of those partnerships is what you see behind me. So we partnered with Roca, which is a large company doing fitting out bathrooms and plumbing, working in that industry for many years. And they wanted to become involved in learning and how they could transmit and be involved in a project where they could use the bathroom as a learning space. So what you see behind me is a picture of our bathroom in Learnlife Barcelona Urban Hub, where every surface is a learning experience, and where Roca contributed, working with us to create this new learning space, where repurposing the bathroom, which is traditionally not used for much more than the bare necessities, and creating a learning space as well. So finding like-minded partners who want to contribute to what you're doing is another way where you can leverage your community and leverage your network.
Thanks, Blair. I wonder, could you just go into a wee bit more detail about how you approached outside agencies and seek help? Saul and Blair, maybe you could just talk a wee bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it all boils down to, for me, to the vision, where you're going as an organization. Why do people want to join your journey? And those people can be learners, they can be families of learners, they can be team members. Why do all these people join your journey? And generally it's because they believe in the vision, they believe in where the organization is going, and they want to participate in that journey. They want to join and jump on board your train and the way you're going. And that also applies to partners. So who are the partners that are interested in innovation around learning? Who are the partners that could have experience in a particular area, bathrooms or kitchens, and who you believe are open-minded enough to start that conversation? So we wanted to create learning spaces using every space we had, and we believed that Roca could be interested, and we reached out to them with that vision. that you could participate in a new learning space, combining our experiences, and we can work together on this particular space. Super. So yeah, it's about getting that buy-in and selling the vision and being evangelical about the journey.
So, thanks, Blair. And you know, something springs to mind.
I would like to.
Sorry, Saul, I'm going to ask you a question actually, Saul, and it's actually about the design of the learning space. And I wonder, could you maybe just point us through how learners were involved in that design and construction process?
I think that we get the chance, because we were running the program where we were doing the construction, to get a lot of opportunities where learners could be involved in this process. And I think the powerful behind that is that they feel like they were part in that process. So that means that you are fostering creativity, that they feel proud of being part of that community. And that can be a really, really tiny exercise. And we have plenty of examples that apply to that. We have like the one that I have already talked about, like the yellow submarine. We also have another one that it was called the rainforest, that again, the process is similar. Just find and identify an unused space and try to find which is the need that the community are require, and then work on the design principle for that. So I think that this can apply to any educational community. It's not something that you need a really huge and big budget to start. It's like a small starting point. If we just make to give an example or a tip, if we think about a typical classroom, and we think about the classic four walls of a classroom, it was designed like 100 years ago for only one activity, that it was lecturing. So right now, we just need to change our mindset and think about how can we create a more flexible environment, allowing different type of activities, collaborative work, individual work, social work. So thinking on that and working together as a community, I think we have plenty of opportunity.
Thanks, Saul.
Yeah, and that flexibility, that flexibility, I think, is important also for partners and other people who want to collaborate. So if you have flexible spaces, those spaces are available to other people, not just a classroom with desks and chairs for learners. So I think the flexibility in use of space, and also in attitude, and also in imagining using your imagination. These are all factors which make the whole process easier. If you put yourself in a bucket, so then in a particular limited environment, you limit very much the people who want to be involved with that, because you have a very concrete offering. If your offering is broader and more flexible, it makes it easier to have conversations with people.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really incredible, getting young people involved in the design of a learning space. I think it makes it real for them, and it attaches them straight away to that vision and what the mission and what the sort of North Star idea of the learning space is about. I think I'll just move on to the last question now, guys, and it's kind of, I suppose it's a question in which we can send out a message now to people who are watching, and it is really about your own experiences. And I'd like you to talk about, I guess, based on the experiences and challenges and the successes that you've witnessed in Learnlife and building the hub, what would you say to those who want to reimagine their use of space? What would you want them to take away today from this talk? And maybe Blair, you could start.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it's a community effort. Everybody's involved. This is not about me as a finance person saying to Saul, who's our architect and designer, you have a budget of X, go and use it. But this is very much an iterative process. It's teamwork. It's about understanding the journey together. What are the needs on both sides, and the limitations as well. And that's based on the vision. We want to create something that we believe in together. We share this vision of how we want to get there. The speed of how we get there might be different. So break down your journey into pieces that are digestible for you as an organization. Don't expect to move from 0 to 100 in 2 days. It might take you years. It might take you months. Everybody is on their own journey. So I think it's understanding that the speed that your organization goes at is the right speed for you. And that's what you can do as an organization. And I think also for me, coming from a kind of finance point of view, it's not thinking of resources just as being cash. No, where there are many other types of resources and many other ways, and you can also find out more information on our webpage about other ways to think about resources. So I'd encourage you to visit that as one of our paradigm elements, and thinking, okay, well, it's not just about cash. How can we broaden our horizons as to how to resource, and how can we take advantage of things that we have? So what would you add from the kind of design and architectural side?
I would say that we should be creative, think out of the box, don't be afraid to fail. And I think that we should challenge ourselves to think that every corner of any school or community should be transformed into a learning space. We just need to take the opportunity and to think out of the box and to challenge our creativity and offer the learners really provocative learning. We should offer a learning space where the learners feel that they want to be all day. And I think that we can do that all together. It's much more stronger when you work as a community. That makes a completely different. And I'm just talking from our long journey, almost 4 years working with Blair and the entire team. And yeah, I think it's a privilege and it's a fantastic opportunity that we all have. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Challenge yourself.
Thank you. I think that's our questions over. And after this talk now, we're going to be linked into some live Q&As with the attendees. So you guys, we can stick around here and we'll see some of those questions coming up in a little second. But thank you very much for your time. And I hope that the community of listeners and watchers can take something away from this today. I definitely did myself, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Brian. I look forward to the questions.
Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye now.